Hey everybody, I'm Scott Weichel. You're listening to My Kind of Country on MKOCRadio.com, bringing you the very best in real country and western music the way it should be. A brand new duet album from two wonderful people in country music. Some great songs, some beautiful melodies. You've got a new voice on here that's absolutely beautiful, and you've got a voice that you all know and love. And when I tell you who I'm talking about, you're going to agree with me 100%. They are both with me this evening. We're going to talk about this great album and play some songs from it. This is Sara Lou and the great Rex Allen Jr. How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Scott. It's nice to hear from you. We're doing great.
Scott, I'm great today. It's just been a terrifying day, but I'm going to live through it.
Well, I certainly hope so. Rex is doing a rain dance today, folks. Send rain down to Tennessee.
I'm trying. Down here in Nashville, it doesn't rain. I think the last rain was when Noah and the Ark going on, and then we got a tenth of an inch. You know, we need rain. Yeah.
All right, we'll send it down your way. It's pouring here. If you hear some rain in the background, folks, that's what it is. It's pouring down on the roof right now. So.
Well, the album was a lot of fun to do, and you know, Sara found me, and I kind of found her in Gene Autry, Oklahoma, and we, you know, I don't know what it was about her, but I thought, you know, I ought to talk to this person, and come to find out that she and her husband are just wonderful people, and she says, I'd like to, you know, get back into singing again, and I said, well, I tell you what, I said, send me some stuff on you and let me hear it. And we'll go from there. And so she sent me some demos that she had done, and you know what I heard, I liked, and I told her, I said, I tell you what, why don't you come into town, and I've got some open tracks, and we'll put you on some open tracks and see how you do and how you like it. So she and her husband Darren came in and spent 4 or 5 days here, and we did 2 or 3 tracks or 4 tracks. How many did we do? So 4 or 3?
The first time we did 2.
2. And then she started going to the Western music festivals and that sort of thing. And I don't know how it came about. We were working on something, weren't we, Sarah? And I said, you know, heck, we ought to just do a duet album.
Yeah, we came down to see you again to Nashville in December, just this last December, and we were working on me doing some vocals for your next release.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
That's when you decided we should just go ahead and do an entire duet album, and of course I jumped on that idea. It was a great idea.
Well, it certainly is a great idea.
It worked out real well. You know, I produced all the tracks and stuff like that, and then Sara came in, and she's an accomplished piano player, and so we got to add that dimension to the album. And you know, gosh, we've had one single out already, and that was a country music, or not country, it was a Western song called You're the One of My Dreams. And, you know, we had over 250,000 requests for it just here in the U.S., so it was a big record.
Absolutely. And I see you've got your new single, Storms Never Last, and that's on the Indie World charts right now. And we're getting requests for that here, too, so it's rolling right along for you both.
I don't know where
we're really excited about that.
Where did Storms come from? Was that your suggestion, wasn't it?
It was.
Storms
actually.
Never Last? Yeah. So it was the album was really a collaboration of, you know, songs that I wanted to do and songs that Sara wanted to do.
Well, there's some great songs on here, and these are all songs that people are going to recognize. One of the ones I was really intrigued to listen to is I saw the title, I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart, which, of course, is Patsy Montana recorded that in 1935. And I'm thinking, okay, how can this be a duet? And tell me the story on this. Did you write some extra lyrics, or were there extra lyrics for this song?
No.
Take it away, Rex.
Well, no, it was my idea.
Yeah,
it was my idea, wasn't it, sir? And here's the thing.
It was.
I wanted to combine the songs, and the reason why is because Stuart Hamlin is the guy who wrote Texas Plains, and he wrote it. He wrote the song right after Patsy Montana's record came out, and he stole 80% of the melody and about half of the lyrics. And of course, cowboy singers have been singing Texas Plains, and then the cowgirl singers have been singing Cowboy Sweetheart. So the melodies are so similar, and even the lyrics, Stuart Hamlin stole half the lyrics from Patsy Montana. So we put it together, and it's really turned out to be fun, hasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. It was, and it was so different than anything I had heard as far as I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart, that I just think it made it really interesting to put those two together and make it into a duet. And we had a lot of fun doing it. If you listen to the very end of it, you hear me giggle, and you hear Rex make a comment. And at first he was going to take that out, in editing. I'm like, yeah, you got to leave that in. That just shows how much fun we were actually having.
Well, if I know one thing about Rex, he always has a comment. So
He does, and he's a pretty funny guy.
Yes, he is. We got to spend some time together last spring, and congratulations again, Rex. You were inducted into the North American Country Music Association's International Hall of Fame this year. And
yeah, I appreciate it. I still have the award sitting on my mantle right here in the dining room of my house. So that's where I keep it.
well, you put on a beautiful performance. My wife, daughter, and I were absolutely mesmerized. You came out with your acoustic guitar, and I'll tell you, it was the highlight of the night. It was absolutely gorgeous, and you could have heard a pin drop while you were singing your songs. It was
Thank you.
it was. We were just blown away. My daughter is 12 years old, and you've got a 12-year-old girl singing along to your songs. I mean, you really touched somebody there,
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And folks, if
That's
you
Rex Allen Jr., Scott.
absolutely, if you folks, if you happen to get to the Country Tonight Theater in Pigeon Forge, in their lobby area, there is a little museum there, and Rex has a case with a bunch of his memorabilia in there. You can check that out. I think your first guitar is in there too. Is that right, Rex?
First guitar's in there, the one my parents bought me. When I first started to play music in about 1959, I got into a band in high school. So they bought me a guitar. So it's actually it's my 1957 Martin D18, and that's the song that I wrote. Every song I ever wrote in my life, I wrote on that guitar.
Wow.
Everything from the state song from the state of Arizona to It's Over to Don't Say Goodbye to Ken Uli's Pioneers, all those songs were all written on that one guitar.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really cool. Sara, give me a little bit of background on your music, and I know that you and your husband have an album out together, and your website is also, you can get her music there. It's SaraLouandtheCowboy.com. We'll make sure and put that information on our Facebook page. The album, incidentally, the new album that Rex Allen Jr. and Sara Lou have together is available at cdbaby.com, and also Blackhawk Productions LLC.com, and of course Rex Allen Jr.'s music at rexallenjr.com. So again, Sara, give me a little bit of background on your music career.
Well, I guess I'll go back to the very beginning, Scott, because there's been a huge gap in what I did when I was younger and what I'm doing now. So at the age of 4, I started playing piano by ear. My mom also played by ear, so when she realized that one of her 3 children could actually play by ear, she jumped on the opportunity to help me learn to put both hands together and really start playing chords and, left hand accompanying the right hand. And I could really play about anything I heard. And so I took some piano lessons for a while until everyone figured out I wasn't learning anything, because the teacher always played the song for me. So I'd come back the next week and I could play it perfectly, but I didn't learn a single note. So I skipped piano lessons for a number of years until my mom got me with a teacher that understood that he couldn't play anything for me, and he really threw me right into it. But I learned quickly on reading music. And then I think I won my first singing contest at age 7, and I did a lot of singing. I sang in different groups as a teenager, and then I won several different singing contests at different types of things that were in my area, which was in the Midwest. And then I really didn't have music connections. I didn't really know how to go about doing my dream of singing and performing other than in churches, and I did fly out of state one time to do a concert in a church in another state. But really, that was about the extent of it, and I was to the age where I had to make a decision on what I was going to do. And college was always something that was promoted that I would do. And so I went ahead and went to college, and I ended up I'll make a long story really short. Ended up majoring in music and piano performance, and I taught piano for several years. And then I went on to law school, and I've had a career in law. And I've been very happy in that career, but it's not my passion.
She's a judge. She's a judge.
Wow.
She's a judge.
So,
well, the jury is...
We don't toss that out there too much.
Oh, yeah. She doesn't fix tickets. I know that, so that's not good.
Well, I'll tell you what, the jury is definitely not out on this album. It's a stellar album, and you guys have knocked it out of the park here. And I really do love your voices blend very well. And of course, Rex, you've done a lot of duets over the years. And how is it working with different duet partners on some songs you've recorded previously, such as "Cup of Tea," which is great, by the way?
Well, I did "Cup of Tea" with. I cut it the first time. I cut it with Margot Smith, and then I cut it with Lisa Stewart. And of course, I cut it with Sara too, and Sara Lou. And I did duets with. I did 100 episodes of the Statler Brothers show, and 2 years worth of shows called Yesteryear on TNN. And I had Janie Fricke as a duet partner on the Statlers, and then I had Lisa Stewart as a duet partner on Yesteryear. So, but the problem was, Scott, is I never cut a duet album. And back when the Statler was hot, that was just stupid. I said, Jamie and I should have had a duet album immediately. But Jamie was going through a divorce and all that other stuff, and so it just never happened. That's why it's kind of like doing an album with my dad. I did an album with Dad finally because that was on my bullet list. And then I went back, and the only other album I haven't done was a duet album, a full duet album. So I found Sara, and I thought it would work out real well. And the thing about Sara Lou is she has an unbelievable range.
Yes, she
does. She's just way. She has a huge range. And so, and I've never worked with a singer like that. I mean, I could throw her anything. And I mean, some of the parts she hits on my next album that's coming out, she did background vocals on it, and I mean, only dogs can hear it, I think.
I think your comment was, "You're blowing up my system, Sara, with all of those high notes."
Yeah, I know. And so, it's great to work with somebody as talented as she is, because she can, if there's parts to be done. And honestly, Scott, you know as well as I've been in the business a long time. You know how much it is that you, for somebody that really sings harmony.
Oh yeah.
And that really knows how to do it. And fortunately, Sara Lou is a natural at it. She sings all the parts and does a tremendous job in it. She's a joy to work with.
I've always enjoyed harmonies. I truthfully, I enjoy singing harmony probably more so than doing lead vocals. And I enjoy being able to get the phrasing exact and kind of meld with that other person and just, try to get it as very close as you can. When you guys recorded, did you record the songs in the same room together? Were you face to face, or did you record them separately?
Cowboy Sweetheart,
Sarah.
which we don't. What's that?
Well, you go ahead and tell them, yeah.
Well, on Cowboy Sweetheart, there's not a lot of that song we actually sing together, but I do recall I was running the recording system and Rex was doing the singing for his part,
right.
Which was kind of fun, because I had actually learned how to do that from the time I had seen him the last. So I was doing that, and...
And I was doing the vocals. Well, the thing is that were we sitting across the mics from? No, we didn't do it that way. To be real technical with you, I worked on the tracks, and we worked on tracks. I worked on tracks for about a month, and the nice thing about working on tracks with Sara is that I didn't have to worry about keys, because I could put it in any damn key and she could sing it. And so we worked on tracks, and we talked about songs over the phone, and I started working on things and got the basic tracks together. And then when she came in, we started doing vocals and working on her vocals and my vocals. And as she said, she ran the board on some of the things, because I do all the recording here at my house. And the keyboard stuff, she got a keyboard, a piano, electronic piece of gear, and so she could do the piano rides and things. So I got string lines and all that stuff, and it turned out real well.
It sure
and
did.
Fortunately, I don't know, it took about what, Sarah, to do the vocals and the overdubs? It took about 5 or 6 days, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and we spent part of the day doing the keyboard stuff, just adding in what we wanted and filling in where we needed it, and then we did the vocals, and I don't think we had a lot of redos, but we did listen, and we might have had a couple of songs where we decided to do something a little bit different. But I know also, Rex, what you did after I would leave, you would spend that next morning before I came, or even that later that day, working on, some parts that you wanted to add. So it would have taken longer had you not been willing to do the work past the time that I left. So.
Well,
it was a labor of love, really, Scott.
I was going to say, I think that it's...
And it was fun.
Well, that's the most important thing.
The concept I have, I grew up with a famous father and that sort of stuff, and I met Walt Disney in Calgary. And when I was about 15, and I said to Mr. Disney, I said, Mr. Disney, I said, you're re-releasing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I said, I've already seen it. I said, don't you have anything new? And he was very nice to me. He said, son, I'm going to tell you something, and you can remember this the rest of your life. And I said, what's that? He said, I have a new audience of children every 7 years. And he's absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. And so the thing is with songs in country music, and especially in traditional country music, you have a completely new audience. There's a lot of people who have never heard Storms Never Last before. Especially the younger people. They never heard it. They don't know. It's a new song to them. And Scott and Sarah will tell you the same thing. Or you guys will, I'm sure, agree with me that you're trying to find traditional country music in Nashville, Tennessee is almost impossible. There's nobody writing it. Yeah. Most of it's coming out of Texas. And so I find that there's once in a while I'll find a good song that somebody has written, but most of the time, probably 80% of the time, I'm looking at, B-sides of Waylon Jennings stuff that is great material that nobody's heard before,
Yes, sir. That brings up a very interesting point, and that's something I do on a lot of my shows. I've got an endless supply of music to play. I mean, I've got thousands of records, CDs. I mean, I'm never going to run out of material. And I love listening to albums in their entirety. And you're right. I have found, so many great songs that were never quote unquote hits that probably should have been, but for whatever reason of the powers that be at the time didn't release them. And there's some great material. And like you said, good music has no expiration date. And
no, it doesn't. I think that one song that I suggested we do was the Kenny Rogers tune. What's the name of it?
Sweet Music Man?
Yeah.
Sweet Music Man.
Yes, Sweet Music Man.
Well, I remember that song when it was out by Kenny, and there was a lot of the country stations that wouldn't play it. Well, that's because to me, and Kenny wrote that song, and it's a great piece of material, but I thought he did it wrong. In other words, to me, it needed to be a girl singing the song and then a guy coming into it. Mm-hmm. When you listen to Sweet Music Man, you may have heard the Kenny Rogers record back in the 70s, but it's a whole different piece of material now.
And you did a wonderful job on it, and that's one of my favorite songs on the album, and I always liked the song. I thought it was a masterpiece, and you're right. It's becoming a duet. It gives it a whole different kind of life, and
a whole different life, and That's my favorite song on the album. And it probably will never do anything, but it's still my favorite song.
Yeah, absolutely. Another song like that, and talking about, being a duet, one of the biggest requested songs that I ever had back when I played music, and now that I'm doing the radio thing, people always love this for anniversaries and things like that, is Could I Have This Dance? And I always thought, man, that should be a duet, and boom, here it is.
Wow, that's great.
And songs like If I
That was
Needed You.
Rex's idea.
Well, I have no doubt. It's an absolutely beautiful cut, and that is a perennial favorite song, and I can see that one, your version, becoming a standard for a lot of people for years to come, for weddings and anniversaries and things like that.
That'd be neat.
Absolutely.
That would be.
And
I need to write a divorce song. A divorce song.
And Scott, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
DORCE,
we're getting way off track here, but I got
IMCA.
I gotta tell you this. I gotta tell you this story. You'll appreciate this. Years ago, we were hired. My band and I were hired to do a party, and it was a divorce party. And the guy that booked us, he said he had one stipulation. He said, "On demand, I want you to sing Divorce by Tammy Wynette." So I can't tell you how many times we did that song that night. And he came up at the end of the night, and he had kept track, and I forget how many times it was now. And he gave us a $50 bill for each one of the times that we played that song.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you'll sing it again, too, now.
That's right. Oh, man. Well, Sarah, tell me about the song Whiskey Lullaby. You both just did such a beautiful song, and this is another one of those songs that's just, it's one of those that will last forever.
Well, that is such a sad song. Unfortunately, I think it's becoming more of a reality for more and more people in today's world. And so singing it kind of has mixed feelings because it's such a lovely melody and it's a beautiful song. But it's a sad song, and I've even had people who've commented on Facebook, beautiful but sad. And yes, it is, but I think it really shows off both of our abilities to sing the harmonies and to sing a nice lead melody. And Alison Krauss is a wonderful singer, and she has such a smaller voice when she sings, as far as she doesn't really always just pump out that volume. And so for me, I didn't want to overdo that sound, because I think it's really a perfect sound for that song, to just kind of sing the melody but not to sing it, over sing it. So I worked a little bit on that to try to not over sing it, but just to try to make it fit with that theme of the song, because it's not something that, you're not happy about what you're singing, but you're putting out there what like I said, is unfortunately is a reality for people today. And it's kind of a song that for two people who had no hope, right, in their lives because of mistakes that one made and the other one fell suit to the result of that mistake. But it's a lovely song. It was a great opportunity to sing that with Rex, and I found it to be it's one of my favorite songs on the album, and it's probably not one that I would have chosen just simply because I really wasn't familiar with that song, and Rex was. So I was happy to learn that song with him and to do that with him, and it was nice to do the harmonies with him and to really kind of just be a background harmony when he's singing lead and vice versa. It was really nice to blend together, and I think we do a nice job on that.
Yeah, you certainly do. Every song on this album, the selection, I just don't think you could have picked better songs. Every one of these songs are just, one of those. There are certain songs in music that are just a cut above the rest, and I think every single song that you picked for this project fits that category.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. That's
Thank you.
Really wonderful.
Well, the album is Sara.
It is. That's a great compliment.
Well, it's well deserved, believe me. Sara Lou and Rex Allen Jr. is the name of the album. You can get it at cdbaby.com. You can also go to sarallouandthecowboy.com, rexallenjr.com, and blackhawkproductionsllc.com, and they are both active on Facebook, and you can get in touch with them there. And folks, in this world of downloading music, and I really have a habit of encouraging my listeners, especially with albums like this, make sure you get the whole album. It really takes you on a musical journey, and it's one I think that you'll be really happy that you did, and sit down and listen to it as a whole. It's great to go back and pick out your favorites and listen to them, but if you get a chance to sit down and listen to this thing, I think you will really just be touched on a lot of different levels. And Rex, just to clarify things, I know you have retired from the road, but you are doing select things, and you now have the time to work on projects like this. And I know you've got another installment coming for your Garage Songs series here pretty soon.
Yeah,
and
it'll be released. I'm going on a bucket list trip on August 21st. I leave for Ireland and Scotland. But I'll get it all. It's recorded in the can. It just needs mastered right now, and I'm doing that next week.
Well, fabulous.
So,
I hope you.
I'm doing it this week, and then it'll be out before the end of the year. The first single, it'll be out within the next 4 weeks. But the first single on the album comes in late September, I think. First part of October.
Outstanding. Well, I hope you'll get us a copy and come back on the show. I'd love to talk more about it. Absolutely. Well, it's been a joy talking to you both. I want to thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. And we're going to play a bunch of songs from this album for my listeners now, and I really hope that you'll go pick this thing up. It's a fabulous project, and I wish you both the very best. And thank you so much for taking time to be on My Kind of Country.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, Scott.
I don't wanna be the fiery sun. I just wanna be your candle, honey. I just wanna be your candle, baby. Let the sun shine on.
I don't wanna be the deep blue sea. I just wanna be your cup of tea. I just wanna be your cup of tea. Let the sea rage on. Let the waves roll and pound. Let the sun burn the ground. Let this whole world roll around. I'll be happy just to have your loving. I don't wanna ride on a fast freight train. I just wanna be your walking cane. I just wanna be your walking cane. You can lean on me. I don't wanna fly like a bird in the air. I just wanna be your rocking chair. I just wanna be your rocking chair. Baby, sit by me. Let the trains roll on by. Leave it up to the birds to fly. Long as you say you'll be mine, I'll be happy just to have your loving. I don't wanna be the deep blue sea. I just wanna be your cup of tea. I just wanna be your cup of tea. Let the sea rage on. Baby, sit by me.
I wanna be a cowboy sweetheart. I wanna learn to rope and to ride. I wanna ride o'er the plains and the desert, out west of the Great Divide.
Every night in my dreams, somehow it seems that I'm back where I belong. Just a country hick way back in the sticks, back where I was born.
I wanna hear the coyotes howling while the sun sets in the west. I wanna be a cowboy sweetheart. Oh, that's the life I love the best.
Now these city lights and the city ways, they're driving me insane. I wanna be alone, I wanna be back home, back on those Texas plains.
I wanna ride on pain, going at a run. I wanna feel the wind in my face, 1,000 miles from all the city lights, going at a cowhand's pace.
I wanna drink my jab from an old tin can while the moon goes climbing high. I wanna hear the call of a whippoorwill. I wanna hear that coyote cry.
I wanna be a cowboy sweetheart. I wanna learn to rope and to ride. I wanna ride o'er the plains and the desert, out west of the Great Divide. I wanna pillow my head near the sleeping herd while the moon shines down from above. I wanna strum my guitar and note lady, that's the life that I love.
Now these city lights and the city ways, they're driving me insane. I wanna be alone, I wanna be back home, back on those Texas plains, back on those Texas plains.
Yeehaw! I'll always remember the song they were playing the first time we danced, and I knew as we swayed to the music and held to each other, I fell in love with you. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Would you be my partner every night? And when we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life?
I'll always remember that magic moment when I held you close to me. As we moved together, I knew forever you're all I'll ever need. Could I have
this dance for the rest of my life. Would you be my partner every night? When we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Would you be my partner every night? When we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? For the rest of my life. You don't know the meaning of uncontrolled desire. You were always hanging just above the fire, and now and then you come close enough to just stay warm. And you think that you win 'cause you never give in, because you've never been burned. Oh, but you're gonna learn. You don't know love till it chilled you to the bone, turned you inside out and left you all alone. You don't know love till you watched it die, and then you have to try again. You don't know love.
Like a child you wander out into the storm. You defy the thunder, but lightning keeps you warm. The innocence you've shown is something I would like to know. And I'm feeling that I'm finally crossing the line, but I wouldn't be alone. Guess I've known all along. You don't know love till it's chilled you to the bone, turned you inside out, left you all alone. You don't know love till you've watched it die, and then you have to try again. You don't know love. You don't know love till it's chilled you to the bone, turned you inside out, left you all alone. You don't know love till you watched it die, and then you have to try again. You don't know love.
Storms never last, do they, baby? Bad times all pass with the wind. Your hand in mine
steals the thunder. You make the sun want to shine. I followed you down so many roads, baby. I picked my flowers and sung you soft, sad songs.
And every road we took, God knows our search was for the truth. And the storm brewing now won't be the last.
Storms never last, do they, baby? Bad times all pass with the wind. Your hand in mine steals the thunder. You make the sun want to shine. Storms never last, do they, baby? Bad times all pass with the wind. Your hand in mine steals the thunder. You make the sun want to shine. Storms never last, do they, baby? Bad times